Shaun Johnson, plenty of pressure on him. Likewise with Cody Walker, who is standing by. We are good to get things underway. The first of 3 games here on Fox League. We look down the field by the Flying Fox. The countdown takes us to 0. We're underway here on Saturday in Magic Round. Jai Arrow with the kickoff. Goes down to Dejan Arce, playing his 3rd game with the Warriors after his move mid-season from the North Queensland Cowboys. Just outside their own 20. There is Montoya, straight back into the action. He's missed a month of football through the suspension. Tavunga in there at dummy half, looking after things for Wade Egan, who was out with that calf muscle injury. And Eli Katoa, one of the inclusions for the Warriors on the left-hand side of the field. Jack Murchie on the right-hand side of the field as the edge forward as well. From Tavunga comes to Aaron Penne, just the 2nd start he's made in the NRL. Both of them with the Warriors. As the kick from Johnson will hook back towards the middle of the field. An awkward one there for Blake Taff. Looking up into the falling misty rain here in Brisbane. Got a bit big on him, and a good kick to get things going from Shaun Johnson.
There's a strong set there from the Warriors. Nothing flash about what they did through that middle third, but you can just see in the background there, Jacob Host seems to have come into all sorts of pressure. When he come out of that tackle, we see the trainer signalling to the sideline straight away. He's holding that right wrist, looks in severe pain.
He's returning himself from a shoulder injury. It is Jacob Host, and he may well have been injured. Oh boy, coming from the field with that right shoulder perhaps giving way once again. We'll get an immediate report from Lara Pitt, who is sidelined, but looks to be the case that that shoulder has not held up through 1 set of 6 for Jacob Host. What a blow that is for him, and also the Rabbitohs here today already, of course, missing Cameron Murray in the back row rotation.
Yeah, huge concerns for Jacob Host. He hasn't moved. He's gone straight down on his haunches as now the Warriors get a penalty through the little electric man in Reece Walsh. Liam Knight only just coming onto the field to replace Jacob Host. He's given away a penalty.
That's a forlorn sight, Lara Pitt. Jacob Host is on his haunches on the sideline here.
Yeah, I'll get an update on that as soon as I can for you. Woz obviously looks in a great deal of pain, and as you said, Liam Knight straight into the action for South Sydney. Condition-wise, we're obviously all keen to see how the pitch holds up with so much rain around Brisbane. I can tell you the groundsmen have been working day and night, and they are confident it can get through the whole of Magic Round without too much fuss.
Might need the old super stopper, keep things going over the course of the 48 hours or so. There's the tackle again. With Host involved, he seemed to be almost a secondary passenger in that tackle, and the shoulder potentially just popping out for him there. So, an unhappy return from a shoulder problem for Jacob Host. Looks like his day is done already. Lodge an offload here for Newell Blake as the Warriors take it down to the edge of the 20. Good chance here midway through this set. Slow play the ball though as Lodge goes on to Johnson. Grubbers trying to emulate what Adam Reynolds did last night for the Broncos. A good kick here, and they've got themselves a goal line dropout.
Yeah, really good start from Shaun Johnson. Just watching him closely in that set, he was directing traffic and where he wanted his troops to be before stepping up and coming up with a superb little kick down to that right-hand corner. Slippery conditions, it's the right play. Reece Walsh comes through. They'll get a repeat set off the back of this. Great start for Johnson.
The Arrow again, who supplied the kickoff, is going to give us the goal line dropout as well. He strikes it nicely, bounces down, played off the thigh there by Matt Lodge. That was pretty clever. He's been watching a bit of EPL action.
Like the old hacky sack.
A bit of hacky sack exponents. Here is Adam Fanua Blake. He'll play it here, just inside the Rabbitohs third. Misting rain continuing to fall in Brisbane, maybe gaining in strength once again. Inside pass from Johnson for Penne. All at sea in attack in the second half last week against the Sharks. Here they are, Walsh rubbering once again. More pressure on Taff. Getting back there, some help from Alex Johnston, who takes it out of play. And that might be the theme of the day in all 3 games, because on this greasy surface, it's going to be tough for the back three in particular.
Yeah, once again favouring this right-hand side. Reece Walsh it is this time, just dropping it onto the left foot, asking more questions of the defensive line for South Sydney. It's a nice start from the Warriors, just mounting the pressure, which is what you need in the conditions the way they are.
There are signs already that perhaps the lessons of last weekend against the Sharks have been learnt, as they just were all at sea for game management. Most of that, of course, fell on the shoulders of Shaun Johnson, 31-year-old in the number 7 jersey here again today. So far, so good for the Warriors. We'll see if the pressure amounts to points, though, as Lodge plays it at the 20. It goes from Tavunga, comes to Walsh at the line, taking Murchie with him. Good tackle by Campbell Graham in his 100th game in the NRL today. From RC, Johnson grubbering again off the legs of a Rabbitoh. This one doesn't make it through the line, and South Sydney have hung on.
Well, they've come here with a motive, the Warriors, to find the ground with the ball. That's their third kick in as many sets. Johnson come up with a repeat. Walsh come up with a repeat that time there. Now they give away a penalty. A real coach killer coming out of their own end. They have had all the ball in the last 5 minutes. Now they alleviate the pressure.
The Rabbitohs, through Lachlan Ilias, find touch. They have owned the Warriors in the past decade or so. They've won 11 of the past 12 games against them. Matangi takes it into Warriors territory. So a chance for the Rabbitohs after just over 6 minutes of game time. A bit of pressure here on the Warriors. Totola inside the Warriors 40. When you play it here for Damien Cook, it was dynamic last time they met these two clubs. Carry here, and they'll play it eventually. Knight getting back to his feet, out there much earlier than expected, with Jacob Host out of the game at the end of the first set. And he's still making his way around the long way, and there's no doubt that shoulder has popped out. Here is Walker at the line. Terrific ball. It comes to Milne. He'll score for South Sydney. Well, it wasn't great against the Broncos last week. They scored 2 tries just like that against them. And it's Walker and Milne combining here to give the Rabbitohs first points today.
Well, the third best right-hand edge attack in the competition. Ilias this time goes to the line, digs deep into the line. We see Cody Walker out the back. Matangi, does he make contact? That looks to be fine. That's a poor read out on the wing. And in the end, Cody Walker, who has been under the spotlight this week, got the C next to his name, has come down the other end of the field and has delivered his team an absolute peach of a pass to Tane Milne, who's able to capitalise in the right-hand corner.
Given the angle we just saw there, it looks to be okay. The only concern for the Rabbitohs could have been if Walker actually had got around the back of the decoy line there of Matangi, but it looked like he passed it before he passed around the back of that line that the back rower was on. This will be all confirmed as the referee just waits, and there it is right now from the bunker.
Really good signs for Cody Walker. I mean, we spoke just right off the top about Cody Walker playing with a smile on his face, and the type of player that he is when he is smiling. Over the last couple of weeks, he's certainly lifted his game, which his team needs. No Adam Reynolds there this year. Lachlan Ilias, for mine, has done a really sound job in the halfback role. Cody Walker finding his feet in his responsibility with the team. And in their first opportunity this afternoon down their right-hand side, he pulls the trigger in what was a beautiful set little play. Some pretty poor edge defence, mind you, was.
They had issues, the Warriors. Nathan Brown said on the right-hand side last week. Rocco Berry has paid the price out of the team. Vilea and Pompey, the centres today for the Warriors, and they get a result straight away, the Rabbitohs here. And won't be an easy day given the rain for the goal kickers. Blake Taff up against the sideline here. Trying to make this 6 points nil, or swing across the face of the uprights and stay 4-0. The Rabbitohs on top of the Warriors, Lara.
Yeah, the crowd building for this one was sellout expected today at Magic Ground. The rain not keeping them away. They're still streaming in. Of course, this is the first of 3 games on Fox League. At 5:30, it's the Titans and the Dragons. They're arriving as I speak. And then we cap it all off with the biggest ticket in Magic Ground, of course, the Storm and the Panthers live from 7:30 p.m.
Well, it's a massive day, and if you haven't got a ticket, it's too late. They've all gone. Warriors, after all that pressure early on, 3 sets in a row, they come up with a duck egg, and the Rabbitohs go down the field off the back of a penalty. And they score first chance inside the 20. 4-0 it is. The Bunnies to work it away from inside their own 20. Tola runs towards Lodge. Look at the leg drive.
Yeah, terrific run from Tola. One of the unsung heroes of that South Sydney. Now Cook out acting half.
Exactly the scenario he's looking for, Damien Cook. Good carries, and on 3 plays, they're back in Warriors territory. Already defensively, alarming signs here for Nathan Brown, the Warriors coach. As Tom Burgess returns today from a back injury. He'll play it there for Cook. Goes across to Walker, who chips in behind them. But then he's a Lesniak on his bike, gets to ground. Just dives on the ball to stop it getting into the in-goal area. And again, Sean Johnson and Reece Walsh at the other end of the field. A good kick this time from Cody Walker. And the Bunnies have the Warriors under pressure here inside their own 10.
There's a great little kick from Walker just down in that left-hand corner. He just gave it a little dab. He thought it may have skidded on more than it did. Checked up in its run. And once again, the South Sydney Rabbitohs just giving a penalty coming out of their own end. Both teams guilty of it in the early stages of this game.
Penalties 1 apiece now. As Johnson comes across, finds touch. We'll see if they can offer a missive of 6 here. As Violea taps it and gives it off to Jack Murchie. When he moved from the Raiders to the Warriors, it was terrific. Coming off the bench, we'll see how he goes in a starting role here today. Has struggled to keep his place in the 17 with regularity. Past season and a bit now as Katoa can be so damaging on this left-hand side of the field. They'll play it just 30 out from the Bunnies line. It goes to Penne, tipping it on. Johnson does well, reaching for it. Walsh, pass there for Violea, who's taken down just outside the 20. Couple of plays remaining. Short side here, Murchie. A spin away from the sideline. They'll hold him up. He's in trouble here. He's done very well, though, to get to ground and stop from being pushed into touch. One more for the Warriors. Walsh feeding it on for Johnson. He goes to the air this time. Katoa is there. It comes backwards off him, bouncing around like a pinball. Ends up in the arms there of Jackson Paulo. It'll be a knock-on is the call from referee Ben Cummins against the Warriors.
Yeah, once again, a little set play from Sean Johnson as we see the ball go up. The hands come up. Looks like Katoa may have got a hand to it before it bounced. And Jackson Paulo coming up with it, and they get the ball back. The South Sydney Rabbitohs lucky to do so when you allow the ball to bounce the way they did.
Let's go back downstairs to Lara for a moment.
Yeah, Jen, so the South Sydney Rabbitohs have confirmed that injury to Jacob Host. It's the same shoulder he injured a couple of weeks ago. We saw how much pain he seemed to be in. Clearly, the club's going to have to consider a longer stint on the sideline for him, perhaps surgery on that shoulder, given how unstable it is.
Yeah, that's terrible news, isn't it?
Very likely a scenario there that it might have to be surgery for Jacob Host when it pops out as easily as that, having tried to rehab it for a couple of weeks now. It sounds like it might be a job for the surgeon. And that will more than likely be season over, unfortunately.
You would think so,
Host.
yeah.
And the Bunnies here through Ilias. Yeah, it's a tough, tough game. Never been any question about that. Awkward one here to handle in the end. Walsh does well, but he knocked it on.
Yeah, just got away from it. Beautiful kick here from Ilias. Just drops away. We see the frustration on Reece Walsh's face. Just at the death there. A little bit of pressure from Cody Walker and Graham. And they come up with an error. You can see just to miss the rain. It's a slippery ball. It was swirling in the air. And straight away, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they opt to take the scrum centre field. Terrific way to attack.
And you would think with the immediate success they had on this right-hand side of the field, and they scored both their tries last week against the Broncos in the same fashion, they go that way. Blake Taff off the scrum win. Only an ankle tap there just takes him to ground. It was almost too simple. Cook goes out the back. 3-on-1 here. Graham comes away from Alex Johnston and is cleaned up by the sliding Warriors defence. Massive overlap there. Graham went away from Johnston.
Well, they had him shot for all money out on this left-hand side with Graham.
For the moment, they'll play it underneath the uprights. It comes back Liam Knight, he goes to Ilias at the back. Here is Taff showing it. He could have walked in himself. He gives it to Milne, who's in for a double, and it is one-way traffic on this right-hand side of the field for the Rabbitohs.
Let's try number 17 down the right-hand side for the Rabbitohs, but some pretty poor edge defence by the Warriors. First it started off the scrum. Blake Taff nearly gone through untouched. They break from the scrum. Damien Cook, just a little short ball to Taff. He just gets held up enough before they go to the left-hand side. They look like they're going to cross for all money. And once again, right-hand side, just digging into the line. Some poor edge defence. Montoya coming in. No communication from Arcee. And Taff delivers a nice little ball here to Tane Milne in the conditions with Montoya coming across, unable to make the tackle. And a real concern for Nathan Brown in the opening stages of this half. They've been down that edge twice and they've come up with 2 tries.
He told us before the game that he was pretty happy with the way things had gone defensively at stages this season for the Warriors, but the reality is they're ranked 15th in defence, and Tane Milne is queuing up for a bagful today, given what we've seen the first 2 times the Rabbitohs have gone inside the 20. He's bounced around the league with a number of different clubs, the Roosters and the Dragons included. Here he is with the Rabbitohs on the end of a back line today. They are just screaming for the ball because the Warriors are all over the shop. Almost considered a try from the scrum win. This man, Taff, almost went all the way, and he could have walked in himself, having thrown the dummy. Eventually found Tane Milne. It's 8 points to 0. And there's not much starch about the Warriors today inside their own red zone. Taff misses again. It stays at 8 points to 0. It's alarming if you're a Warriors fan, given what happened last week when they couldn't score against the 12-man and then 11-men Sharks.
Yeah.
Today they just can't stop conceding points.
There's the first one we saw from Cody Walker. Once again, just Montoya just come in when he didn't need to. This time he's going backwards on his own line. Very hard to make a tackle in that position before Taff just passes on to Milne, who's crossed for an early double in this game.
Okay, Royce.
8 points to 0. The Titans and the Dragons to follow this one, and then the blockbuster, the Storm and the Panthers. 7:30 live right here on Fox League. The only place to see all 8 games this weekend is Fox League. Totola, fantastic carry not long ago from their own end as they burst down the middle of the field. Cook followed up with a run from dummy half. This time he comes to Liam Knight, and a whistle again, and the Warriors, Ben Cummins says, jumping the gun defensively once more and inside the 10, and
Possible head contact here.
might be a problem here for Jazz Tavunga is there.
Makes it really difficult to compete in the contest when you're continually giving away easy penalties coming out of their own end. Both times that they've been able to do that, the South Sydney Rabbitohs have marched down the other end. They've come up with some points off the back of some ill discipline from the Warriors as Jazz Tavunga just gets assessed in what was did he just get caught by the knee?
Yep.
Of Liam Knight.
They've got concerns, of course, in the hooking department. See what happens here. No Wade Egan today, out with a calf muscle injury. They did pick up, of course, during the week, Freddie Lussick, formerly of the Roosters, and then a cameo appearance last week with the Dragons. And there is Lussick, mouthguard in hand. About to take to the field in the NRL with his 3rd club in just game number 12. A lone stint last year with the Dragons, played a couple of games with them, played 9 times with the Roosters as well. And here he is, now a Warrior, came across quite a mid-season trade, but Ronald Volkman, a highly regarded half as well, has become a Warrior, doesn't get a chance here today. But Freddie Lussick didn't have to wait too long to take the field as a Warrior today in Magic Round. Yeah,
well, a little bit of sting has been taken out of the game, particularly 2 of those big guys in the middle. Freddie Lussick might be able to ask some questions if he gets the opportunity at acting half, but they need to D up really well here.
Oh, it's Burgess. He'll play it for the Rabbitohs at the halfway line. Cook goes to Totola. Show of the ball. One-on-one there with Lodge.
He's had
his
a
hands full.
strong start.
Quick play the ball off the back of a legs tackle. Now Taff Comes out here to Jackson Paulo. At the 20 again. They've been down in this situation twice already for 2 tries for Tane Milne, looking for a first half hat-trick. They'll get a chance, no doubt, given what they've shown so far. Cook to Tola. Goes through Elias Walker and to reach behind him.
Oh, nice.
Cut out ball. Johnston's got them. Cody Walker is dealing. He is Mr. Smiles here today. And the Rabbitohs are killing them. Well, it's 12-0, Corey.
They're shelling peas at the moment, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, when they get down into good ball. And this man on screen, Cody Walker, the stand-in skipper, no Cam Murray, no worries at the moment. Walker down his preferred left-hand side, the shape that we've seen so often last year. He had over 30 try assists. He goes straight back into his shape here. Just a little cut-out ball across the face of Graham. Once again, some really poor edge defence for that man on screen who can find his way to the try line, no doubt, Alex Johnston.
3 times they've been down here for 3 tries. 2 to Milne, 1 to Johnston, who is closing in on Benny Waring, and also Nathan Merritt, the all-time try-scoring leader for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. 9 tries in 8 games now for Alex Johnston against the Warriors. And well, despite the greasy conditions, you wouldn't know it given how clinically they have been moving the ball to the edge as the Rabbitohs, and Cody Walker is enjoying this. This is exactly what he needed after an unhappy night against his old mate Adam Reynolds and the Broncos just last week.
Oh, it's terrific signs. Look at him just barking to his troops there as Taff has really kept the Warriors in touch here, just unable to convert any sort of conversions, both being tough ones on the sideline. What can he do from the other side this time?
Easier kick for him if he can bend this one back, which he can. Flags in the air. The first time today for Blake Taff. The man with a C next to his name today is Cody Walker, taking over from Cameron Murray. Not the first time he's been captain for the Rabbitohs, of course, filling in the past during various stints. Seems to be agreeing with him, Corey.
Absolutely. It just gives him a little bit of responsibility. There was a lot of questions asked during the week with who's going to be captain, whether it was Cook or Walker. Well, you know what you're going to get from Cook, but for Cody Walker, the responsibility of having what he has to do for the team on his shoulders is certainly sitting in a very, very good spot. Just watching Cody Walker off the ball and what he's been able to do and dictate to his troops in and around him, he's been superb to start this game. Already a couple of try assists. He's been in everything. Some nice kicks.
In the battle of 9th versus 10th. As the Rabbitohs are trying to force their way back inside the top 8. Plus 19 for and against coming into today's game. The Warriors minus 81. And we're seeing why. They've had 3 chances to defend their own line, and they've come up conceding 3 tries so far. Rabbitohs, big meters once again from their own end off the back of the restart. They're back at the halfway line already. Cook brings Totola onto the ball. Again, Lodge is there, legs tackle.
He's been terrific. We heard from Demetrio, and he said they're just going to go straight through the front door. Nothing about that set as Walsh now just comes under siege from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Straight through the front door. Totola's been one of the best on ground at the moment. He's had 9 runs for nearly 90 metres. Been terrific to lay that platform. Now they start to really fire up with their defence.
So it's Lesniak playing it here as Montoya comes in midfield to take a carry, driven backwards here. The Rabbitohs just dominating everywhere at the moment. Tola and Cook. As Lussick jumps out of dummy half. Good scampering run there to get them on the front foot. Supplies could play the ball as well. Walsh finds Adam Fanua-Blake. They've got one more here from just inside their own 40. Johnson at first receiver. Loft one. Taff looking at Johnston there. Bit of miscommunication between the two of them. And again, not a classic catch there by Blake Taff by any stretch, but he's good with his hands, and he'll play it here 25 short of the halfway line. The Rabbitohs 14-0 midway through this opening half.
I mean, it's been terrific by both sides. I mean, the South Sydney Rabbitohs are 9 from 9, 100%. 8 from 8 for the Warriors, yet to have an error in the conditions. It's been raining here all day in Brisbane, just a light mist at the minute. Both teams perfect with their ball control. It's been a real issue for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, worst in the competition in that area.
Walker, a kick in behind Martini Zalesniak. Walsh coming across. Tough one there. He did very well, the fullback. There was a moment it ran across the ground and looked like it was going to make it into the in-goal area, and Walsh somehow was able to grab it before it did. Didn't knock it on, and now a penalty conceded by the Rabbitohs.
Well, that's the 5th penalty of the game, and for mine, I think all 5 have come in that similar fashion. It just alleviates the pressure. They've worked so hard, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. 85% of the ball in the last 10 minutes have been in the way of the red and green.
And the Warriors again battling for possession. It's a familiar tale last week. Just 41% of the ball, even with that one-man advantage for the majority of the game after Kennedy was sent off for the Sharks. It was even worse Anzac Day evening against the Storm down in Melbourne. They had just 36% of the ball for the entire 80 minutes. That is almost unheard of. Now for Newell Blake. Comes through Johnson, Murchie, a nice straight line there. Want to get something going here, and he's knocked it on instead.
Well, Jack, you can challenge it if you want.
And it was so promising in the opening 5 minutes.
Okay, where would you like it?
Nathan Brown, those fingernails, chewed them down to the quick at the moment because, boy, they have been just all over the shop ever since those first 3 sets. Maybe this is the man they need, a bit of experience.
Well, that's a good sign. That's a great sign for Tohu Harris. Brings so much experience to the Warriors outfit. 182 games. He's won competitions. He's played for his country. Coming back from an ACL injury round 18 last year.
He'll be out there in a moment as they defend as far as the Warriors are concerned. Hopefully this next set tonight. Work it down here. 35 out from the Warriors line. He's very concerned. Off the back of the 6 again set here. Be another change made by the Rabbitohs. Liam Knight will come from the field. Saliva Havili will come on. Jason Demetriou and South Sydney as Burgess takes it inside the 20s. They've been here 3 times previously for 3 tries so far. Ilias back on the inside for Havili, the fresh man rather, onto the field. Immediate touch. Just 5 away. Cook. Long left-hand side set there, flat. Rubbering. Walker! It's Cody Walker's afternoon here in Brisbane. Trying to match what Reynolds did last night for the Broncos. Cody Walker is passing and kicking for tries. This time it's Blake Taaffe. They've got their 4th.
Well, it's Taaffe and Walker, particularly down in this end, but Cody Walker has stood very tall in this game. This time it's off his little left boot. Sums things up beautifully. He pulled the trigger only moments ago, went to the pass out to the left-hand side. This time just banged straight on the left foot. Taaffe in perfect position. Just finds Reece Walsh on the hop, and Taaffe just flies through. The weight was perfect. What a start for the South Sydney Rabbitohs and Cody Walker. He's just playing. He looks like he's just playing with that freedom. He's just not thinking about what he has to do. He's just doing it. And when we saw Cody Walker last year at his scintillating best, there was no thought process. It was the boy in the backyard just playing rugby league. He's had 3 try assists already in the first half. He looks very, very similar to what we're seeing at the moment. No thought process. Mind you, there's plenty going on, but he just makes it look so easy. His first thought is generally the best, and he's coming up with some superb plays for his team.
Confirmation from the bunker. That's all good as far as this man being onside there on the kick from Cody Walker. And from beside the uprights, should be able to make this 20 points to 0. They're not quite keeping pace with the clock. Not far off it though. As the rain continues to fall here in Brisbane, the Rabbitohs don't mind these conditions quite obviously. 20 points to 0, and Cody Walker, as we said, just so comfortable here today. Watch it again, just looks to Taaffe. It's on the inside there of Vialia, who was just beaten point blank in the chase for the ball.
Yeah, real special mention there to obviously Damien Cook. The pass just allowed to beat 3 and 4 defenders and gets Cody Walker on the outside before he can come up with that wonderful play. But there's a real dangerous period here. 15 minutes remaining. The South Sydney Rabbitohs look like they're in a really good groove. You only got to think a couple of weeks ago, 70 points and the scars that would leave on the Warriors outfit. It's a really, really important, critical 15 minutes.
Tahu now!
That is true, of course. They've split those disappointing efforts against the Storm. And last week, the Sharks with that win. The one-pointer where Shaun Johnson kicked the field goal against the Raiders after the controversial penalty won by Matt Lodge for what was very, very faint high contact. Paulo to play it here. It's a lack of resilience about the Warriors. They're giving up tries off mistakes and penalties. And the Rabbitohs are 4 from 4 inside the red zone.
Well, they're one of the worst in the competition, the Warriors, at conceding metres through that period, and they're doing that again. I mean, Cody Walker's running it beautifully, but there's nothing flash about what South Sydney are doing. They're running with intent and purpose. They've got a clear direction on what they want to do, and that is between the scrum lines right down through the middle. And at the moment, it's paying dividends.
Forcing mistakes from the Warriors. Work it away from their own end once again. Here's Montoya, but Tola, who made a very good run again in that previous set, is there. Here he's chasing out on Mateni Zalesniak. Great work by the front rower, having a fantastic opening 25 minutes in this contest. Tohu Harris, first game back since round 18 last year. Reconstruction. There were some nerves in the build-up to this game and some dark moments during the course of the rehab early on. And he's out there again. Experience. See how much game time he plays today. Maybe 40 minutes tops, you would imagine. First game back. Big period, as you said. The Warriors to try and hang on here. They got through a couple of sets there without incidents since the try's been scored.
I mean, I just look at that set there from the Warriors. They've got Shaun Johnson, who's a terrific striker of the ball. They've got Reece Walsh, who's got a wonderful left foot, and they come down, no disrespect, Dijon Arce, and he comes up with a kick that sort of didn't really do too much at all. They've been struggling to get out of their own end. They haven't had any of the ball in the last few sets.
Here is Ilias kicking wide for Milne in a chase. Didn't quite get the angle on it. Oh boy, I hope Montoya was able to force that ball. And just to make sure, Ben Cummins says,
I've got a penalty back there for late
that.
contact. Jerry, no try. Just make sure it's not grounded here first while the defenders, please. And I've got a penalty for late contact on Tahu Harris.
There we go.
Well, it's going to come back to the Rabbitohs no matter what happens here. Let's just take a look at this again. Ilias was thinking about Tane Milne.
Chasers are onside on the
his
right.
bets on this left-hand side of the field, so had the advantage, but then got back comfortably in front of Tane Milne. Just hope he hasn't made a hash of trying to force this.
Yeah, it was shades of Reynolds and Cobbo, wasn't it, last night? What a scintillating display that was.
Tohu Harris makes late contact on the kicker. So at this stage we have a penalty if it is a no try. We now need to look to see if the ball is grounded by the Warriors in their own end goal.
This could be a very embarrassing moment if he doesn't do that.
Well, if he was trying to score a try in that situation, they would say no try.
Well,
but is this enough to say he's forced the ball?
Well, you'd have to. I'm not sure.
The ball is grounded by the Warriors in their own
that
end
angle
goal.
there looked much
However, we'll
more
have a
like
penalty
he
for
forced
the
ball
contact
comfortably, but the first
on
angle
the kicker.
from side on gave you a bit of a look that suggested that maybe again, I'm going to say that on that one angle, that first angle,
Yes.
they'd have said no try.
Well, he's got the poker face on, hasn't he, Montoya, out on his wing here. I wasn't so sure by that first.
No try because you're grounded there, so...
The bunker is happy. Montoya was able to ground that ball, but it will come back for a penalty, and boy, a penny for the thoughts of that man as he watches on, knowing, or perhaps thinking, here we go again. 5th time inside the 20. They're 4 from 4 so far. And Harris, first game back from the knee reconstruction, on report for the contact.
Well, they need some resolve. They need some goal line defence here. They need some resilience. They need some line speed.
It's Cook from dummy half. They go to the left-hand side. Walker coming back against the grain. Well handled here by Murchie and also Lussick. Place down the middle of the field there. Nothing doing, though, as Feely just takes it towards the post. They've used up 3 plays. Here is Ilias. They came out quickly. Katoa got to him and grabbed him by the coattails and drags him down. Good work by the edge forward. Cook. First man option was Seville. Davey Malali is also out there now for the Rabbitohs. They bypass him. Walker grubbering again, looking for a do-over. The Warriors again have hung on, but geez, only just.
It was Cody Walker. He wanted the ball moments earlier, as we see Jazz Tavanga. Looks like he's past his HIA. Once again, he come up with a try off a kick. He had Aden Fanu and Blake in front of him, Cody Walker. He didn't get the ball. He got it 2 plays later, and he opted for the next best option, that to get a repeat. And the Warriors, under all sorts of pressure here on their goal line, needs a big kick from Reece Walsh.
Freddie Lussick will stay in the dummy half role for the Warriors. Fanua Blake comes from the field, and Tavanga will go a running middle third role. Seville brings it back, met by a solid tackle there. Warriors need a lot more of that. Cook comes to Toll. Making up huge meters, 120 already in this game for Savita Totola. Ilias showing it, giving it to Walker. They came in. Montoya forced a mistake there from Taff. It came to Dejan Arce. He links up here with Adam Pompey. Walker gets back there and stops him at the halfway line. And the Warriors find a way to force a mistake from the Rabbitohs at their own end. And here's a counter-attack. Johnson kicks early. Alex Johnston winning the race here. Will take it, spins, gets away from Watene Zelezniak, brings it back. They didn't get him to the touchline, and the Warriors give away possession.
It was 0 play, Sean Johnson. It was an all or nothing. Kick down to that right-hand side on one of the game's genuine speedsters. Alex Johnston was able to turn and chase and then come up with a huge play for his team to get himself out of the in-goal.
I don't know if Sean Johnson plans to go to the casino tonight here on the second day of Super Saturday's Magic Round, but I'm not going with him because he's rolled snake eyes right there at the craps table.
Well, Nathan Brown's nearly falling out of the box as Ilias now finds Tavanga.
Oh, it's played at is the call from the referee. Paulo links up with Taff. He's got Ilias back on the inside. Tavanga grabs him and saves a try just inside the Warriors 20. They're lined up left. Cook takes them on from dummy half. Spins away from Lussick. Still going, Damien Cook. Oh, how strong is he? What an effort. They were fanned out left. Cook said, no, boys, just watch me go.
It's the flow-on effect. We saw that Sean Johnson unable to come up with the play. It was all or nothing down that right-hand side. South Sydney Rabbitohs, they do a terrific job coming out of their own end. Kaloa Matangi gets some really good leg speed. Nice quick play the ball. Ilias got a little bit lucky on his kick. A deflection fell back into the arms of his team before they make a half break down this right-hand side. Here's the play here. Johnston just did a terrific job. Just did enough. Very smart. Got to the ground before he got thrown out. Here's the deflection off Jazz Tavanga. It was deemed to be played at. Tane Mill, nice little offload. Jackson Paulo on the inside. Taff back to Ilias. Tavanga makes the tackle. They were shot out on the left-hand side. Damien Cook and his speed and acceleration out of acting half. His strength, he's hit by 5 of the Warriors, and he's able to come up with a huge play. 8.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Tohu Harris slides off the tackle. We don't see that very often in his first game back. Montoya gives him everything he has. And the little speedster.
It's like Steve Jackson in the 1989 Grand Final for the Raiders in extra time against the Tigers. Defenders everywhere. He just kept going, Damien Cook. 24 points to 0.
It's terrific play from South Sydney. What we've seen, some individuals, and that man there come up with a solo effort out of dummy half. But I go back, it's 76% of the ball the South Sydney Rabbitohs have had in the last 10 minutes. They get a great opportunity in play 1. 0 play. Johnson comes up with a kick. It was all or nothing.
It was too much of a gamble given the situation in the game at that point. Taff with the conversion. Thanks to the 6-point performance from Damien Cook. 26 points to 0. The Rabbitohs over the Warriors. Jason Demetriou said in the build up to this game that, take a look at this terrific picture from Flying Fox. He said, we gave up a couple of disappointing performances last year, 50 points to the Storm and the Panthers. We bounced back from that. We'll bounce back from a disappointing effort here last week against the Broncos, and so far he has been good to his word. The Rabbitohs on top, Lara.
Absolutely was, and you can see here on the Flying Fox, the crowd is filing in big time. We've already told you it is a sellout here on Super Saturday, this rugby league loving town. They were not going to miss this no matter what the conditions, and of course they've come in from across the country for this festival of football. South Sydney, they're delivering so far in game one.
It's 5 tries to 0. Rabbitohs running rampant. It's hit up here at their own 20, Corey.
Hit up number 14 for Totola, up over 130 run metres. What a stint. What a platform he's laid for his team.
Comfortably the best forward on the field by some stretch. Magnificent in this first half. Here's Kalamatangi. Takes it back across the halfway line here. They've got one more play, a chance for an attacking kick. It's Ilias they come to. Looking for a spiral. Walsh standing underneath it, makes a catch. Bring it back at speed, straight down the middle of the park as well, to his credit. He runs into Totola, who's doing it on both ends at the moment, defensively and in attack. Boy, good shot there from Kalamatangi over the top of Montoya. Walsh. Played just short here of the Warriors 40. They barely had a play. The Rabbitohs end of the field after that opening onslaught where they had 4 or 5 sets of the kick-off, and that's been it from that point on.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, the Rabbitohs have made them pay off every sort of opportunity as they come down this left-hand side through Arcee.
He was building on this left-hand side here. Adam Pompey was almost just a passenger watching the play evolve and wasn't part of the play. Lussick gets grabbed from behind here. It's going to be a knock-on, says the referee. The Warriors thought there might have been either high contact or he was tackled before he made contact with the ball, but the referee disagrees.
This time, Shaun Johnson just fakes the kick, gets a little bit inside pressure. He's so good at doing that, but comes up once again with the wrong play, the wrong call. They've done their job on the inside, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and Lussick unable to hold on to it. And once again, play one, halfway. Half-time can't come quick enough for Nathan Brown and the Warriors.
Speaking of half-time, Braith and the boys in the desk this afternoon throughout Super Saturday as jumps out from dummy half. Big chance once again. Nathan Brown, surprised he can still watch at the moment. Here's a kick. Ilias finds Reece Walsh, does nicely, sliding into second base there. And now a dummy from Pompey, who runs towards Tane Milne. Had he beaten him, he might have had a long scoot down the sideline there to get them out of trouble. He's up against the sideline, but he'll play it there as Montoya comes back towards midfield. There's an awkward situation there for Havili, but he brought him down very comfortably, having lifted him into the air. Tohu Harris on report 20 minutes after he came onto the field for the situation with Lachlan Ilias, which had led to another South Sydney try. One more for the Warriors. Yeah, it's Lussick. Just kick it down the short side himself. Finds the turf as well. Blake Taff. Link up with Johnston. Scored the 143rd try of his career in this first half. Taff from dummy half. He only needs to average 14 tries a season. If you say another, or 13 now the rest of this season, and then 14 for the next 4 seasons, and he would match Kerner Irvine at 212 tries.
Yeah, incredible. One of the great finishers in our game. You can just give him the ball. He can come up with plays that others can't.
Ilias goes to Walker. Pompey coming in. Make the stop there. 35 metres out. Last play here for the Rabbitohs. Cook to Ilias. He finds Jackson Paulo. The ball comes free here. Furious end of the set of 6. The Warriors will come up with it because it looked like it was lost full. I thought there was a player in contact with the ball while he was in touch there. It won't matter. Warriors on the changeover, if you like. 3.5 out from half-time. They look like a team who needs the sheds badly.
They might need the ice bars, the hot showers. They might need smelling salts, the oranges, everything, the Warriors. They are over and out. They are all on their haunches.
Now, Johnson under pressure here. It came to Walsh, who does well, bouncing off the tackle there of Cody Walker, who comes again.
Jai Arrow could have caught that if he had his eyes on the ball. He's had his eyes just for the player. Can they jag something just before half-time?
Harris playing it. Back. Dejan Arce thought for a moment he's going to try and launch a 2-point field goal. He's gone the old midfield bomb. Montoya makes the catch. They'll wrap him up, and that end of the set pretty much sums things up for the moment for the Warriors.
You've got one of the most experienced halfbacks on the right-hand side, and they come again. The second time they've done it in this half, of Arce just coming up with a really sort of a shocking kick down this left-hand side. Shaun Johnson needs the ball in his hands. He needs to step up. His team are desperately relying on what he does. As now we see a little bit of starch in the defensive line.
There's Jack Murchie. Moali there. Now a shift. Graham onto Johnston. Space in front of him. He runs past Johnson. Puts a kick back infield. A catch for Lachlan Ilias. Oh, what a beauty. A terrific South Sydney try just before half-time. Fabulous way to end his 40 minutes of dominance from the Rabbitohs in the second try in the NRL career of young Lachlan Ilias.
Yeah, Lachlan Ilias said, I want a part of this. I want to be part of this party. Here at Magic Round, the rabbit is out of the hat, They come down this left-hand side off a poor kick from the Warriors. Beautiful play from Graham. Before the man we're only talking about moments ago, Johnson, can come up with some plays that others can't. Tracking back down through the middle, Ilias. Does he get there?
Don't tell me.
That's fine for mine. I'm okay with that.
Don't want to spoil the moment now, Corey. Well, there was a suggestion. Watch this again. With the contact of the turf, the ball was just... I think he's still in contact with it as he slides in. We are going to take a look.
We're going to ground in.
And the odds are lengthening with every second that goes by.
Well, the rabbit's been
looking
put
at
back in the
grounding
hat.
The rabbits. He's in the hutch. The rabbits have got plenty of bunnies with them
they've
today.
cleared the onside
Plenty of points
from
by
the
looks
kick.
of things. Everything's okay. We just need to check the put down. That's the only question. Oh, I think he's still got
Lachlan
the
Ilias
ball.
comes down short of the goal line and loses possession of the ball.
Okay.
I can make a case that he had the ball in contact with his hand still on the turf as it hit the line and then came away beyond that.
Well, the skill in the lead-up play was superb. Campbell Graham out on that left-hand side, just shoveling the ball on to Johnson. Comes up with a beautiful banana kick.
Watch it again. Got it?
Oh, the rabbit's out of my hat.
Yeah,
so
well,
I
Reggie
can't
the
put
Rabbit
it back in.
Reggie the Rabbit goes back under the top hat. We'll see if he emerges maybe for the second half. I'm going to say there's every chance we'll see Reggie before full time here, given it stays at 26 points to 0. Lachlan Ilias still only has one try in the NRL as things turn out. Boy, his second was going to be an absolutely spectacular performance as well. Instead, the Warriors hang on to it. So while they work this away here, let's set the scene for a kick. At the end of this set, surely Shaun Johnson, he's the general. He's got to be demanding the ball here, Corey.
Has to be. I mean, we've seen Arce come up with two very ordinary kicks in this half. We've seen Johnson kick on play 0, come up with a duck egg. Johnson's run the ball and come up with nothing. He needs to stand tall. This is it. They got a minute and a half remaining.
Hey, wait there. Not quick.
Johnson is on the scene, wants to kick quickly to touch. He knows they'll get a full set here from decent field position if they can get things going. 35 metres out they'll begin with. Pompey. They'll tap it here. Comes through the hands of Dejan Arce to tow her up out of the line quickly. What a performance from him in this first 40 minutes. Larsick waits at dummy half. Johnson. his right-hand side. Goes out the back. Here's Walsh. He's got great tread, hasn't he? He's got the full wets on here today. He can get some grip on this greasy surface. He's hard to handle. Johnson. He finds Tavunga. Arcee comes out here to Katoa. Well handled, though, by Lachlan Ilias, giving away plenty of size in that contest there. You get used to that playing in the halves, though. Back rowers running at you. Harris, Johnson, Murchie. Ball goes to ground. Knocked down there by Graham. 6 again is the call. Then Lesniak has almost an air swing. Knocked it backwards, though. Time ticking away. Barely time for one, maybe two more plays here. Tavunga will take a carry. Maybe the field goal is their best option. Lussick from dummy half. Goes to Johnson, looks in, comes out. Arcee, 3-on-2, a chance for Montoya. Forget the field goal. They want 4 points. The Warriors have found a way. As the siren sounds here to win the first half, they get their first points of the day, and it was nicely worked on this left-hand side.
Yeah, and they got something to salvage going into half-time. Tane Milne caught it very, very close to his centre. Didn't need to be in that close. Johnson goes out the back. Arcee just across the face. Plenty of work to do down that left-hand side, but Tane Milne very, very tight to his centre. The centre just allowing too much space on the outside. And Montoya, in what has been an up and down half for him, is able to get his team at least on the scoreboard. They haven't looked like scoring all half. In their opportunity, they come down this left-hand side. Tane Milne just caught in very, very tight to his centre. Montoya.
He had some work to do, but he got there in the end with some good speed. First game back, and he said, from a month out due to a suspension. And now coming back, Reece Walsh up against the sideline here. The old 12-point turnaround, Corey. Rabbitohs were going to score with Ilias denied by the bunker. Reggie goes back to the hutch, and the Warriors get the penalty, and then off the back of that, they'll finally show us what they can do with the ball.
Yeah, they won't be happy with that, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They've been in full control, both defensively and offensively. And even in that set play there, whilst they score on the corner through a little set play, they had the right amount of numbers, South. They had the right amount of people where they need to be. But Tane Milne just caught out of position, didn't need to be where he was, and Montoya just classy enough to do the rest.
Not easy for the kickers, given the rain we've had in Brisbane all week. The sideline itself, given the traffic up and down it, one of the slipperiest parts of the entire playing surface here at Suncorp Stadium. Walsh will move in. Strike isn't a bad one. He's kicked it from the sideline. That's impressive. And the teenager Reece Walsh. They grab 6 points just before the break. And at halftime here, game 1 of 3 today. Magic round on Super Saturday. It's the Bunnies 26, the Warriors 6. As the Warriors come back out, well, maybe, just maybe, that try they grabbed just before the breakthrough, Marcelo Montoya gets them going, and this man, Shaun Johnson, takes the bit between his teeth and finally makes this team his own, because he has to.
Well, he does, and we see there from his stats in the first half, 1 run, 11 metres, 1 tackle bust. But it's irrelevant. All those stats are irrelevant. He needs his hands on the ball. He needs to dictate to his team where they need to go. He needs to get the ball in the hands on 5th play. He needs to kick him into corners. He needs to play to his strengths. He hasn't done that yet. His team needs him.
As the first half began, it's Tavita Totola, who ran for in excess of 130 metres in that opening half. Phenomenal performance. Gets them going here in the second as well. Havili bring it up towards the 40-metre line, and Cook from dummy half, one of the 5 try scorers, or one of the scorers of the 5 tries in the first half. And of course, Milne grabbing a double on that right-hand side, scoring the first 2 tries of the game. Mawali here, just short of the halfway line. Cook for Havili once again. Runs towards Tohu Harris. Onto Yafoa is also out there for the Warriors. One more play here for South Sydney. It's Walker to put it in the air. But then he's a Lesniak standing underneath it. Makes a good catch. Campbell Graham, though, on this left edge today, having moved from the right-hand side to accommodate Jackson Paulo. A couple of good stops defensively. Massive praise from his coach, Jason Demetriou, for his defence. The build up to the game, and now Montoya rattled there by Moali.
It was a very similar blueprint from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Is now Bunty Afoa. It's a nice charge to start the opening half. Right up through that middle.
Rain falling about as heavily as it has so far today in Brisbane, certainly since we kicked off just on an hour ago now. As the kick from Johnson is a good deep one. Johnston makes the catch. He's got Taff there with him, but he'll play it there just inside the South Sydney 20. As they work it away from their own end, we'll go downstairs to Lara Pit.
Just the messages from both coaches at halftime. Gentlemen, Jason Demetriou, no doubt, obviously very happy with the first half. Just wants his side to keep the talk up. That's where he thought they got the most energy and executed so well in that first half. Nathan Brown felt his middles worked really hard in that opening half, but said they got stripped on the edges, so need to tidy up things defensively and tidy up their ends of sets.
They'll need a very, very large broom. And a dustpan as well. Tidy things up, given what we saw. Here's a chance. Walker makes a mistake. Pushing out there. Sean Johnson comes up with a big play and forces the error from Cody Walker. So they'll begin here in good field position. And there's the broom. Yeah, a little bit of tidying up.
Well, I've been very critical of Sean Johnson in that first half, and already in the start of this second half, he's come up with a really nice kick. He's changed the acceleration coming out of marker there. He's put a little bit of pressure on Cody Walker, and he gets a result.
A bit of energy goes a long way. Sean Johnson. There is Watene Zelezniak. Set restart here. The Rabbitohs jumping the gun defensively. So full set of 6 as they go inside Rabbitohs territory. Tavunga will play it. The siren sounds to alert the crowd. It's a 6 again set. Here's Harris. Named in jumper 12 early in the week for his return from the knee reconstruction. Coming off the bench though today. Fighting for ground there. As a result, Walsh jumps out of dummy half. Runs to Taff, who grabs him just inside the 10. The Warriors. Arcee goes to the left-hand side. Katoa goes close. Stopped only a metre out. He'll play it for Dejan Arcee. Long ball here for Johnson, who will kick wide. Watene Zelezniak up against Johnston. Oh! Watene Zelezniak had a play at it. A clean catch on the chest. He couldn't bring it down.
There were some really good signs from the Warriors. First it was Tohu Harris, and then Walsh at acting half was shot out of a cannon. Dragged down only moments. Metres before the try line. Before they come out to this right-hand side. But it's good signs. It's good signs. They're asking some questions. Watene Zelezniak just unable to come up with it there.
Oh, if he grabs that one there off the back of that run by Reece Walsh and the kick from Johnson, then just give the Rabbitohs a bit of a scare. Instead, they've worked it back beyond the halfway line. Cook goes to Tola.
What about the acceleration of Reece Walsh? Incredible.
6 again set given away here by Freddie Lussick, who was offside and got involved in the play, and now there's real pressure on the Warriors. They were as brittle as China plates in the first half. Here's Moali running hard and straight. He's just outside the 10. 5 gone in this second half. No change to our halftime scoreline. Cook going to do something about that. Taff the juggle. He hung on to it. That was clever in itself. He'll play it a metre away. Second last play in this set. Havili taken down. Good effort by Tavunga. Jumping off the line quickly and making the stop. Here's the last now. Ilias back on the inside for Kalamatangi. This is a fairly conservative play. Fiji sevens from Cook to Walker. Was that a set play?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It was a terrific play from Kalamatangi to keep the ball alive. But we saw in the first half, here's the run here from Kalamatangi, offloads to Cook. We saw in the first half some really nice little kicks from Cody Walker, just getting some repeat sets. Lachlan Ilias, as we see now, Montoya just going through the middle.
And Walsh off the back of that says, I'll go as well. Havili has to let him go. A ball put down by Pompey. He was right there on the hip of Reece Walsh. He knew what was on, and when the pass came, he couldn't hang on to it. Graham for the Rabbitohs. Counter-attack here. Boy, 2 big chances. In fact, Graham has put it down, so the Warriors get a reprieve here.
Where'd you like it, Tahu?
Watch this again. Off the back of the previous carry, Walsh jumps into dummy half. Montoya laid the platform for him, and then they're under all sorts of pressure here. Look at Poppy saying, I'm here, I'm here. Didn't come up with it.
It's just off the back of intent. We saw Montoya come through the middle, just run with nice, hard intent. Got a nice quick play of the ball, and then Reece Walsh just clicked into gear. Possibly one of the fastest individuals in our competition, over 3 metres. He can motor.
3 metres.
That's all you need sometimes, Was. That is all you need.
Not 2 or 4.
No, 3.
3.
Yes.
They used to say Pat Cash. He's one of the fastest men in the world over 10 yards.
Okay, that's close.
I reckon Reece Walsh might have him covered. Don't know how he goes with a racket in his hand. One of those checkered headbands that Pat used to wear. Even if he's still pretty quick, though. The Warriors through to Vunga.
Nice.
They're down 2 sets to love. Here is Bunty Afoa. They're making plenty of headway and they're serving with new balls. They're inside the 10. The Rabbitohs scrambling. Comes from Lussick, takes them on himself. Nobody pushing up. It had to go through the hands there. Now he plays it. 6 again set. Dejan Arce swivelling. Now driving back into the field of play as Lussick waits. Johnson at first receiver. Has to wait for it. Murchie. They just take a settler. With tackles remaining in this set. Plenty of them. It's Johnson here, just floating. Now he links with Arce. They had them for numbers there. Dejan Arce, boy, if they go left, Pompey, Montoya, or a Monty to score. Now Johnson, he just takes them on himself, flips it out the back. It goes to Katoa. He got across the line. Did he get it down, though? Ben Cummins says, I want to check upstairs. He had the best view of everybody on this, and his call is no try.
Well, he's got no try. Katoa likes it. He's high-fiving and slapping his teammates. And for the Warriors' sake, I hope he has scored this, Katoa. It was wonderful lead-up play from Tohu Harris. A short ball to Bunty Afoa. Do they stop him? Oh, he sold us.
Eli Katoa knocks the ball on over the goal line.
He hasn't even got close there, Was.
He sold you. You're the easiest touch in Brisbane. It'll stay at 26 points to 6. They've had all the chances in this second half and still haven't scored.
Well, they're trying to do it the hard way. I mean, it was a wonderful play from Tohu Harris to Bunty Afoa. He skittled him, was in open space. And then off the back of that, Lussick comes out. Here's the play here. Bunty Afoa just goes through. Open pastures, goes through the fullback in Taff. Cook brings him down. Walker brings him down. They need to front load their energy. They don't need to have a layup play. They need to be coming onto the ball at pace. They didn't do it. They missed their opportunity.
The Rabbitohs find a way to hang on once again. And it's Lesniak had that ball. He could have caught in the end goal off a terrific bomb. He spilled it. Katoa puts it down. They've had 2 or 3, maybe 4 chances to score in this second half, and so far haven't advanced from 6 where they were at half-time. It's Avili to play it. Cook from dummy half. Ilias, numbers here. Walker bypasses Graham. Here's Johnston. Runs towards Walsh. Runs away from him. Gives it back to Ilias, who went close to scoring in the first half, and he's gone close again here. He's gone so close, he scored. He got the ball down this time, Corey.
Well, the Rabbits out of the hat this time, Was. He got denied in the first half. He's had a very, very good game. Ilias has done all season for the Rabbitohs. Once again, left-hand side, Ilias just out the back to Cody Walker, across the face. How often do we see that to Graham? Johnston breaking tackles, back to Ilias on the inside. To Vunga coming across, and Ilias just does enough to get it down.
Go down the left-hand side. I thought Johnson, when he came back on the inside, he was going to beat everybody, but he had Ilias there with him. Wouldn't mind seeing an angle just to see the point of the ball hit the turf here. There's not a lot in this. He's short, in the air, in the air, in the air, in the air.
Well, there we go.
Down, Boyd, just at the death.
I mean, there's been an enormous amount of pressure on Ilias coming into this season. Obviously, with Adam Reynolds leaving, he's got the number 7 for the red and green. But he's done a terrific job. He has been very stable defensively of what he's been able to do. He's been working his combinations really well with Cook and also Cody Walker. Tonight, I think he's been fantastic just with his balance of the game. He's got a really long future in our game in the halfback role.
Just shows you the difference between these two teams here this afternoon at Suncorp, doesn't it? The Warriors have had 3 definite try-scoring chances in this first half. Katoa, perhaps the best of them, loses the ball over the line. And then the first chance the Rabbitohs get, they come down and score. And it is the old 12-point turnaround right there in the space of 60 seconds.
But it's the mindset, isn't it? You see when they get half a sniff this afternoon, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they just make you pay. They front-load their energy. Flip the coin. The Warriors had a wonderful opportunity off the back of Bunty Afoa, and they sit back and watch.
And if the Warriors score, they bring it back to perhaps just a 14-point game instead. Kick here, and Taff will go inside the left-hand upright. It'll stay a 26-point margin instead. Let's go downstairs to Lara.
Yeah, gents, plenty of stars on show in Magic Round who will feature in this year's State of Origin, Ampol State of Origin series. It's not far away now, 2 more rounds until teams are picked, in fact. So you can be there live to witness Australia's greatest sporting rivalry in Sydney, Perth and Brisbane. Tickets are selling fast though, so head to nrl.com/tickets to secure your seat to the Ampol State of Origin series today.
It will be huge, quite obviously. It's a huge Saturday here as well. Titans and Dragons, they're next. Don't go anywhere, stick with us. The only place to watch all 8 games of Magic Round is, of course, Fox League, your home of Magic Round, as Reece Walsh will get things back underway. And then beyond the Titans and the Dragons, Storm up against the Panthers. Most anticipated matchup of the season. Drama, of course, for the Storm in the lead-up, Corey, with most recently Jerome Hughes out of action now with a calf problem. Might be missing for best part of 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, real concern there for the Storm. He's been instrumental. He's flown under the radar a little bit. Jerome Hughes just in the form that we see. Cameron Munster, obviously no Pappenhausen also. So 2 of their spine out, but you just know what the Storm are going to do. It's a big occasion. It's here at Suncorp Stadium in Magic Round. They're up against the premiers in the Penrith Panthers. It'll be a hell of a game, was.
Number of options for Craig Bellamy to replace Jerome Hughes. We'll wait and see where he goes. First up here, it's the defending premiers tonight, live on Fox League. The kick here, putting Watene Zelezniak under pressure, makes a good grab. Oh, Walsh was there with him. I think he did the right thing in hanging on to it. Oh boy, now Montoya fired out of a gun, ran at Campbell, Graham and company, and they stopped him. Put his body on the line there. Now Watene Zelezniak doubles up on the effort.
Well, it's great to see from their outside backs. Want to see a little bit more of that from their forwards as now Lodge lines up, takes the ball over the advantage line. Just trying to spark a little bit of energy.
Here's Harris. Comes out the back, Johnson. Murdoch-Masila is out there. Nice inside ball from Johnson, but good defence equally by the Rabbitohs to stop charging Rhino in Ben Murdoch-Masila. Taff under the high ball, just adjusting. Making play it here, just out from the Rabbitohs goal line. And the Warriors, if they are to be a chance, still 27 minutes remaining in this game, they need to force a couple of errors from South Sydney at this end of the field. And here's Milne going sideways, wearing a real shot for his trouble there. Time to get up a little bit dusty from that. One of the outside defenders came in and really levelled him in the back of the ribs by the looks of things. And he's feeling them as well, with good reason. Liam Knight is back on deck. If you missed the opening to the game, Jacob Host aggravated a serious shoulder injury in the opening 3 or 4 tackles of the game and was off the field barely after the opening minute of game time. Liam Knight came on to replace him. A real shame for Jacob Host. And now the kick comes down here for Montoya, who brings it back. He's been cooling his heels for a month through a suspension. He's back today, charging hard, and has the only Warriors try to this point of the game. Tohu Harris. When the play continues on across the halfway line, will come from the field as well. Adam Fanua-Blake will rejoin the action. Johnson goes it underneath here for Tavunga. Good offload. Johnson. Here is Fanua-Blake, the fresh man, back out there. Duck his head into the tackle there of Avili and also Knight. Lodge pushing up in support there of Lussick. They go over the top, but then he's a Lesniak. Not easy with Freddie Lussick. Thrown into the mix. Plenty of game time today. First up, he was a Rooster just a moment ago, it seems like. Now he's a Warrior and he's out there playing today, trying to work out who wants the ball and when. Johnson, little Magic Johnson play right there and Magic round. Little dish as he drove into the hoop. Gave it off to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Rabbitohs will work it away.
Well, you're showing your age now.
I am, yes I am.
Magic Johnson's Lodge now tries to square up on Campbell Graham.
Here's Paulo. He comes across the field to take a carry here. That's the one try scored so far in this second half. 15 minutes gone. And the Rabbitohs in a commanding position. Next week they take on the Raiders out at Dubbo after they were lapped last year out there by the Panthers. 50 points Penrith put on them. They'll be hoping to a nice happier trip than that one last year, and then of course beyond that they take on the Tigers as well. So a couple of big weeks coming up for the Rabbitohs to try and work their way back into solid contention inside the top 8.
It was a really good sign there from Ilias. You see so many halfbacks when they go to the line, they pass well and truly very early and just allows the defensive line to shift off and make some easy reads defensively. Ilias goes nice and deep, square into the line. Sometimes he passes, the other times there's Montoya. Once again, just trying to get his team out of the backfield. Really good asset to have, the halfback that can really dig into the line before they play or run themselves.
As they work it away here, Johnson to kick from inside the 40. Does he have the angle for a 40-20? Not quite. Bounces away from the sideline, in fact. Taff will skip and hop and bring it back. And a stop there and a very good tackle by Freddie Lussick leading the charge down the middle of the field. Johnston comes back to Graham. At this point of the game, Corey, only Marcelo Montoya and Reece Walsh have run for more than 100 metres for the Warriors.
And they've done that in the last 15 minutes. They've really tried to pick their team up, particularly Walsh. He's getting in at acting half. He's taking balls when he can. Montoya pushing off the back fence. Jai Arrow's just ticked over 100, but I mean, we talked about Totola and the start that he had. He's miles ahead, 17 runs. As now they come through the front.
Oh, Knight was almost an afterthought there. He was on the ground. I think it was going to be a pass off the ground and possession of the Warriors anyway, but it's play on as they come up with it. Here is Johnson. On the counter-attack, they're all back just taking a bit of a breather, and Jack Murchie said, oh, OK, I'll take a carry then. Lots of things they're just not doing. Small things the Warriors aren't doing.
I mean, we're standing here watching the Warriors. It's just not happening. It's one-off play. It's individuals trying to spark some sort of an attacking raid. Wonder what's going through that man's face there, head there. His face says it all.
Here is Lodge coming away here to Fanua-Blake, and he'll play it just outside the 20. Lussick. The Lodge. Johnson grubbering. Pressure here. Walsh trying to get through and put some pressure on. Johnson had a miraculous escape in the first half, but this time he'll just moonwalk his way across the dead ball line. It'll be a goal line dropout.
Well, he gets a repeat set again here for the Warriors, but they need to ask more questions. I mean, you can repeat set all day, but if you're not asking questions of the defensive line, it's going to be very, very easy for South Sydney. I'd like to see the halves get their ball up in the front line, get rid of the front rows, get rid of Matt Lodge, get rid of Adam Fanua-Blake out of that first receiver role, peel them back, use them as decoy runners either inside or outside, and get on the front foot.
An in-between dropout from Blake Taff. As a result, we'll play it here just inside the 30. Lussick for Fanua-Blake. Sean Johnson on this right-hand side, barking. The likes of Jack Murchie and Walsh. Here's a play. Lodge taking it to the line. Ends up on his knees. Chance for a quick play. The ball. Lussick will go to Walsh as they double up on this right-hand side. Good tackle there. 6 again, though. The Rabbitohs offside inside their own 10. From Penne goes through Johnson. Dejan Arce. Well, Murdoch-Masila was running a decoy, and they had to stop because Arce couldn't go around the back there of Murdoch-Masila. So the play came undone. Johnson. Lodge is still down on his haunches. There's a problem with him. Jai Arrow in a bit of trouble there for a moment as well. He's okay now. Lussick, Johnson. Here's Walsh. Off his hands. Graham picks it up. Now there's a problem. Johnston gets away there from Vilea. Still going. Beats Pompey. Can he beat Wateni Lesniak? He takes him to ground. The speedster, Alex Johnston, who was 1 try short of joining Benny Waring, and 144 tries lifetime for the Rabbitohs. They're 40 metres out. Burgess. Play it here. Knight, 6 again set. Set restarts have been all the rage in this second half. Cook from dummy half. Goes through the hands there. And now a tip on. Good hands away on this right-hand side. They will play it there just outside the 10.
There's Cody Walker. He hasn't moved. It was silky hands out on that right-hand side. Kalamatangi now just does it on his own.
You heard the contact, and Walker is still on his haunches. Put his strides back up and rejoin the play.
Knocked his shorts off.
Now go through the hands of Cody Nikorima, who's out there. The kick will be too big here. And the Warriors will get 7 tackles from their own 20. Watch it again on this right-hand side of the field. Walker looks up and sees the shot coming from Marcelo Montoya.
That is silk. That is so hard to do. He makes it look so easy. It has been raining here. The ball is slippery. He's under pressure. He's got Montoya zeroing in on his chest, and he's able to just pull it back and a little bat-on, little silky pass out to the right-hand side. Where's a shot for his trouble? Very, very good play.
That was a great slow
highly
note.
skilled.
The ball is in flight. He's watching the ball, takes his eyes off the ball to look at the defence, brings his eyes back to the ball, picks up the track of it, and then tips it on, knowing he's about to get smashed by Marcelo Montoya. That was terrific. That's what you just saw in slow motion there on Fox League.
As you mentioned in the call, though, Cody Nikorima onto the field for the South Sydney Rabbitohs as Matt Lodge comes up with a bludger of a pass.
He spent parts of 4 seasons with the Warriors, of course. Before that, he was a Brisbane Bronco playing right here at Suncorp Stadium. He was the understudy to Ben Hunt, took over that role when Hunt moved to the Dragons. And then started the 2019 season as the first choice halfback for the Broncos. And in the space of a week, he was gone and off to link up with the Warriors. Yeah, good football. It's a brutal business.
Freddie Lussick's in at acting half. Cody Nikorima's now playing halfback for the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Now Paulo getting back on the inside here. There's a problem potentially there for Pompey, who was left on the ground. Looks to be okay now. Maybe a bit of a knock, though. Not convinced he's 100%. We might see an HIA potentially for Adam Pompey. Yeah, just clutching the head there. A little bump in that tackle. Ilias to the air. Wateni Lesniak coming across. Makes the catch. Crowd, despite the conditions, still building here at Suncorp Stadium. The Titans and Dragons, they're next on Super Saturday, followed by the Storm and the Panthers. We go downstairs to Lara.
Yeah, as you said, was Dragons and Titans. They are next in action, and their teams have just come in. And for the St George Illawarra side, young gun fullback Tyrell Sloan will make his return to first grade after a stint in reserve grade. It's his first Magic Round experience. Moses Mbai moves to hooker for the injured Andrew McCulloch. For the Titans, Brian Kelly is out with the flu, so Philip Sami moves to centre, and Corey Thompson is on the wing.
Here is Matt Lodge. The ball ricocheting off a Rabbitohs defender for Johnson, who runs towards Taff, turns him inside out. He was going to kick again, Sean Johnson, and perhaps thought better of it, having done something similar in the first half. Here's Lussick. They go wide. Walsh will kick out towards Montoya. The rain getting heavier. Montoya, a great grab. Spires it back on the inside for Adam Pompey, and the Warriors have their second. Great work by Johnson through the middle of the field, and then the heads up play. Reece Walsh You had had to go to the wing quickly, and the quickest way was to kick it there.
Well, some of the skill that we're seeing on show here today, it was Matt Lodge straight over in a smaller man in Nikorima. It was Johnson coming back through the middle, opted not to kick the ball. He ran it here. They had him shot out on that left-hand side on play 5. It goes to their other man, Reece Walsh, who's had a terrific second half for the Warriors. Comes up with a pin-perfect kick for Montoya. Plenty of work to do. Got to remember, it has been raining. It is slippery. He comes up with a superb take to give it back on the inside to Adam Pompey. We saw moments ago the skill from Cody Walker. Well, let's have a look at this one. Beautiful to be able to go up, catch the ball, offload it on the inside for Adam Pompey to come up with their second try for this afternoon.
Well summed up by Reece Walsh, but set up by the pass from Matt Lodge to Johnson. That was a front rower special. Pompey, who, as we said a moment ago, expecting that the trainer might come out to take a look at him. There's no doubt he was a bit the worse for wear after a tackle in the previous set, and ends up some 80 metres down the field grabbing a try off the kick brought down by Montoya. Flick back on the inside for Pompey. They're a long way back. It'll need to be the 15 minutes of the season in the NRL if they're to come back and make a game of this. I guess you just never know. Had they scored early in the second half and they had all those chances, Corey, it really felt as though it might have been game on then, but they just couldn't find the last pass or the put down to really mix it up with the Rabbitohs. Walsh, great conversion. Off the Montoya try in the first half. This one off the uprights. He's a pinball wizard. Off the left, off the right and in. What a kick by Reece Walsh. That's worth looking at. Once again, here it is, baby. Watch it. Hits him with plenty of power. Left, right and in. Extra ball.
He likes that. That's like the feature in the pinball. Reece Walsh, he stood up in this second half. He's done everything he can for his team. 32 points to 12.
Maybe he gets multi-ball. That's what the Warriors need. They need 3 or 4 footballs out there to try and score points in a hurry.
That's correct. And maybe time extension.
Was there anything more exciting than getting multi-ball?
No. The alarm went off in the head. The flippers were going.
What about the pinball machine?
Yeah.
That as well. Oh, here's Lodge bouncing off Jai Arrow. Look at him go now. They are wound up. They're playing like they've got a free game. Lussick out of dummy half. Comes to Aaron Penne, just about poking his nose through the line as well. Lussick to the right-hand side. Johnson, little dummy off his hip. Murchie was there. Good defence, though, by Campbell Graham's. Had a very good game. He got the raps from his coach during the week for his defence, and he's lived up to the advanced billing. Quick play the ball by Murdoch-Masila. Johnson plenty of time to sum things up. Puts a kick in. Here's Walsh against Taft. Walsh was there. He had a crack at it. Johnson cleans up the crumbs. He's just about away, but grabbed from behind by Murdoch-Masila.
For such a young player, I love his ability to compete on every play. Some nice hard intent running. Reece Walsh, he's just trying to get his team across the line. He's done it so often in such a short space of time in the Warriors jersey.
In a losing outfit to this point of the game, he's been very good. The young 19-year-old Reece Walsh playing just his 25th game in the NRL here today. Cody Nikorima, on the other hand, 146th game today with his third club. Cook comes across here to Ilias, dumps it out the back, and he gives it straight back to Dejan Arce. That wasn't the plan.
Well, he's had a superb game, Ilias. You'd like that one again.
Give away a penalty as well. The Warriors finding something here at the back end of the game. Perhaps it's face-saving time as much as anything. Trying to close the gap here and put something on to convince the coach that individually they're worthy of their place in the team next week when they take on the Dragons. There's the effort there. Totola is the man. I'm pretty confident was placed on report there by the referee, and we'll wait and see if the match review committee make anything of that. Penne Hitting and spinning here as two bookends. Burgess and Totola come to grips with him. Fanua Blake runs at Jai Arrow. Totola there again. What a game he's had. Easily make a case that he's been the best on the park for the Rabbitohs to date. Johnson, a set play, wrapping to the left-hand side. Well read, though, by the Rabbitohs defensively. Kalamatangi. They're inside the 20 here. 15 out, in fact, as goes to Lodge. Big fend there in the chest of Totola. Arrow wraps him up. They've got two plays remaining. Here's Fanua Blake. Now a chance for Dejan Arce. Grubbers sits up awkwardly. Taff cleans it up. He got there eventually. Stick the fork in it a couple of times, but they forced another goal line dropout.
Yeah, it was a nice little kick from Arce, but still the two front rowers getting their hands on the ball close to the line to play out the back to their halfbacks. It just allows the defence to just come up and cut down any sort of opportunity that they may have. I'd love to see Johnson just step up into the front line, particularly inside 10. Use him up as a decoy runner, but get your two bookends out of the way.
Now a short one here from the Rabbitohs. Well, pretenses of being a short one, but it wasn't that short as it turns out. Curious kick. Maybe off the side of the boot in these greasy conditions here. And the Warriors on the attack again. To Vunga. Here's an offload as well. It comes back out here. Penne just charges at them. There's something to stop, and he's only 5 metres out. To Vunga. He'll dig from close range. He got across the line as well into submarine mode in a wet afternoon here in Brisbane. 11 minutes remaining.
Well, he's
32 points to 16.
He's such a stocky little player. Jazz Tavunga so strong. Just look how close he gets to the ground. And his centre of gravity, his body, just peels out a dummy half. Here's the run only moments ago. Got a nice little offload. They're holding back on it. Penne just goes between the defence there at Totola and also Burgess. He just has a quick little look, peels out a dummy half, gets so low. Gets under Burgess, who's such a big, tall man, and under Taff. And 10 minutes remaining was. The South Sydney Rabbitohs have gone to sleep. 32 points to 16. Add the 2 here from Reece Walsh. No pinball this time.
It's 14 the difference, 10 on the clock. And the way they're coming home, they're not done with quite yet. As Lara brought you the news, Tyrell Sloan back in the Dragons lineup. Started the season as the regular fullback. Anthony Griffin made some changes to an outfit which wasn't performing to his liking, but with the injury for Andrew McCulloch, Moses Mbai moves into the dummy half role. Sloan returns to the NRL. He's an exciting young player, a bit like Reece Walsh. He's a great mover, and we'll see how he fares today as the rain has pretty much dried up completely for the moment here. Let's hope it stays away for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, big game coming up next, isn't it, between the Titans and the Dragons. You mentioned about Sloan and the opportunity as that nearly goes dead off the boot, and the opportunity to play at Magic Round. He'd be looking to certainly provide some spark for his side at the back. One of those young, wonderful players. And on the flip side of it, you got Campbell, who's back into the fold in the fullback role, who can certainly light up a football field. We should be in for an absolute treat.
Here is Lodge. If the Warriors can score here, their next couple of possessions, anything is possible. Johnson skipping past Damien Cook there, but got some help from Cody Walker, who completely shuts the door on him. It's going to be a slow play the ball as a result, so Penne, not much happening for him, just has to punch it forward. Does well, in fact, to bring it back to the halfway line, but it's time for perhaps a trick shot here. Johnson, for the moment, will just put it on the boot and try and force a mistake from the Rabbitohs. Alex Johnson links up here with Blake Taff. Good chase there from Dejan Arce. Now the Warriors have to muscle up and force an error from South Sydney. They've got them going sideways. Strong run, though. They work it downfield there through Tane Milne, who grabbed the first 2 tries of the game, and just like that, he got them out of trouble. That was a big carry.
Yeah, it certainly was. Just got him out of trouble, as you mentioned. Tane Milne, he's such a strong ball runner. And the wingers for both sides really rolled the sleeves up this afternoon.
For the moment, they'll punch it through the middle, through Arrow. One more here. Ilias on the right-hand side, very flat, no pressure on him. And the kick will go down towards Montoya. I said the rain had stopped. Oh boy, Montoya might have been put off by the rain. Well, luckily for him, the referee says knocked backwards. Could have made a case that was a knock on, but they get a break there. The Warriors watch this again. Maybe just the raindrops looking up into the lights in full effect now at Suncorp Stadium. Might have put him off. Here's a long ball. Boy, that was tough on Johnson. He's playing basketball. He is Magic Johnson. He's trying to dribble it 5 metres out from his own line. I don't know why he got a ball 30 metres in these conditions inside his own 10. Put him under all sorts of pressure. Now a Foa.
Well, he only knows one way, a Foa. He's come up with a couple of big charges for his side.
Now Walsh, kick from inside the 30. Walking it across the field. Taff taking no chances with it. Got there, and a good thing as well, because that, with the extra bounce, is going to go inside the 20. And the Rabbitohs are close now to having this locked up to vital premiership points. Improve their record back to 5 wins, 5 losses through 10 rounds. We'll wait and see how the results go the rest of the weekend as to where they stand by the time we come to full time in the last game tomorrow night. Cook at dummy half. Comes away to Havili, who takes him across the halfway line. Scored just the 1 try in the second half, South, after grabbing 5 in the first half. Walker's pass here goes to ground. Going back, Taff can't clean it up. Kick forward here by Vailea. Only wants a bounce. Now he gets it. Getting back there. Ilias did well to stop him. Otherwise, he's off. Johnson from dummy half. He comes to the left-hand side. Turns it on the inside there for Adam Fanua-Blake. They were screaming for it on the left edge.
Had to go left, had to go left. It's a set-up play. He's gone to the front rower. There at 6s and 7s of South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now he opts to kick it.
For himself, and he's lost it as well. Another dribble inside the in-goal area this time.
Magic Johnson's come up with nothing. He's hit the rim.
Oh, he's driving for the hoop and couldn't find the handle.
He knocks on, but I just want to check whether he's held back initially on his chase, mate.
But just to see if he's held back on the chase here is what the referee has been asked.
They're all onside. It's a moot point because Johnson is the man who gets
Chasers
to the
are
ball.
onside.
Johnson's passage to the ball was a clean one. Walsh was checked in running. Blake Taff was
Looking to see if there interference on the kick chase.
Havili. He puts a leg out, has a clean miss. Johnson goes around via the cape. On the outside there of Kaloa-Matangi. There's no touch on him.
Looking to see if Damien Cook makes a movement to impede the run of Reece Walsh.
There's no question Walsh does bump, or rather Cook does bump Walsh. And without that bump, maybe Walsh beats his own teammate to the ball and scores. You couldn't have this as a penalty try, though.
No.
Professional foul, certainly.
I mean, as it turns out, I mean, the 2 Warriors are the only players there. Damien Cook coming across in cover does make contact with Walsh. He's spot on.
There is interference from Damien Cook. We now need to confirm that Shaun Johnson does not ground the ball.
Well, that doesn't happen.
Shaun Johnson knocks the ball on. However, Damien Cook has impeded the run of Reece Walsh. We have a decision.
Well, they'll get the ball back here, the Warriors, but once again, they miss their opportunity. They had him shot out on the left-hand side, and they just laid up with a big front rower, just took all the air out of the balloon.
Well, the Rabbitohs should be down to 12 men for the remainder of this game. Damien Cook called out and sent to the sin bin by Ben Cummins. It's a no-brainer. In a try-scoring situation like that, it has to be a sin bin. So Cook will leave the field. They lead by 14. 6 minutes and change remaining here. If the Warriors were to score in this next set of 6, anything's possible. including a bit more basketball.
Slam dunk would be handy.
They've had a few of those chances in the second half, yet to convert. So it's for Newell Blake, who'll play it here. Comes from Tavunga. Here's Foa, who will try and hit and spin. Tavunga a chance to go from dummy half again. Grabbed one just a moment ago. Here he is. No, goes through the hands to Johnson, who shows it. Steps off the right foot. Comes back there to Penne, digging for the line. 6 more plays here for the Warriors. Tavunga goes wide. Dejan Arce comes back to the middle, straight through Main Street. There's the try. They're not done with yet. Against 12 men. 5.5 remaining. Quick conversion.
Well, there was no questions this time from Dejan Arce. Just thought, no, give me the ball. I'll come off left foot, bang, straight under the sticks. Damien Cook has just left the field. That is exactly where he would be defending. And the Warriors, 26-6 at half-time. Reece Walsh looks to add the extras here to be 32 points to 24. 5 minutes remaining.
Time ticking by. And now the bunker only just now says try confirm. So some important seconds there lost. And from right in front, Walsh will stop the clock. Around about 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. It's 32 points to 24. We've seen the Rabbitohs do this 10 years ago, admittedly, to the Roosters. They scored twice in 2.5 minutes. There's almost 5 minutes remaining here, so all the time in the world for the Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nice play, wasn't it? They rushed up on the outside, cut down, and look at the fans in the background. They love it. How good is it? Just banged off the left foot.
Is that a bunch of Gandalfs?
Wouldn't Nathan Brown love a bit of that hair?
Where's Gollum? Who's got the ring? Most importantly, it's Arrow with the kick. If you come dressed as a Gandalf, can you bring your staff with you? Here's Buddy Afoa. Have a Gandalf-type hairdo. As he'll play it here just inside the 20. They're against 12 men. Last week, against 11 men, they struggled. We'll see how they fare here. 4+ minutes remaining against a depleted Rabbitohs outfit. They're almost back at the halfway line. A little anxious suddenly is Jason Demetriou there high in the coach's box for Newell Blake. Takes it across the halfway line. Only 4 tackles gone. Tavunga for Johnson. Comes out the back for Reece Walsh, showing it. Good tackle. Walker forces a mistake as well. That's a big play by the skipper here today.
Yeah, certainly was. He's had a terrific afternoon. The second half hasn't been what we saw in the first. Reece Walsh has tried absolutely everything for his side. And Cody Walker just coming across.
Make sure we get in time. Rabbitohs getting in time.
Wrapping him up, ball and all.
The ball there coming free away from Walsh off the knee of Graham as he came back to help out Cody Walker. Big tackle by the 5'8", who, well, he is the difference today as far as the point scoring is concerned in the game. Both he and Taff, terrific opening to this contest and opened up a massive lead, quite obviously, at the break before the Warriors scored just before half-time. And with that error, you would think they're home today.
Yeah, it will certainly take the sweetness of the victory if they are to go on and get it. The South Sydney Rabbitohs out of the mouth of the coach and also the players. I mean, 26-6 at half-time. They were in terrific form, though. All their star players were doing everything that we'd spoken about during the week. And in the second half, they've just lapsed that little bit of energy. They've lapsed in a few of those real key areas that made them so good and potent in that first half. And the Warriors have done enough. They've done enough to get themselves back into the game. And we see Jason Demetriou, what would be going on?
Push
Here
up,
for Jai Arrow, who's playing in the lock forward role today in place of Cameron Murray, just feeling the inside of the knee there. Now a ball put down by Havili, so the Warriors get the change over here. if they can stop the clock. There will be a stoppage anyway because Jai Arrow's still in some trouble here and some concern for this left knee. Travis Toomer, former Roosters trainer, now the Rabbitohs, out there very quickly. Watch this again as Arrow surges in the tackle. And then the weight of Eli Katoa. Jack Murchie involved also there, ending up with his body weight on the lower leg of Jai Arrow. Not suggesting it was a classic hip drop tackle by any stretch, but maybe a distant cousin.
No, Jai Arrow, I mean, it looks to be fine. I mean, he's obviously in a bit of discomfort there. But he looks to be fine. I mean, 13 runs, 116 run metres, 4 tackle busts for Jai Arrow. No Cam Murray, as you mentioned. I think Tatola's been their best forward in the middle by far as they come up with a penalty here. And 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock. What have they got? They need to score. They need to score now.
The score here, stop the clock. And then they have to do what the Rabbitohs did to the Roosters all those years ago. Score potentially from the kickoff. First things first. The ball eventually here. Precious seconds ticking by. Back underway. Vailea goes to Johnson. Here is Lussick. And it's the dummy half who takes a carry. Didn't see that one coming. They'll play it here just outside the 20. Slow play the ball. Johnson. He finds Fanua Blake. They'll burn another play here. Walsh at first receiver on that left-hand side. They'll come to him now, Lussick. Go to the outside. Good hands. There's the try. Montoya will score. Terrific work by Pompey, and they've given themselves a chance.
Well, there we go. They needed to score. It's been done. Time's off now. Montoya out on this left-hand edge once again. He's been strong and instrumental along with Walsh in this second half, getting his team back into it. Picks up a double, and Reece Walsh has the opportunity to add the extras with 1.5 minutes remaining. They are in striking distance, the Warriors, in what looked like they were absolutely gone in this game, in every facet. 26-6 at half time. Full control of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Cody Walker and Taff running things beautifully. The second half, completely different story.
Time back on now that the try has been confirmed while Walsh lines this kick up. 32-28. Won't be taking too much time because you're back within 4 already, Reece. Need to kick this inside the final 60 seconds now. Taking his time. He drills it. Makes it a 2-point game. So a penalty goal from long range potentially could be enough to send this to golden point. I said 10 years ago, I thought I'd seen it all, Corey. If they come back and win this, it'll be in its own realm if the Warriors can win this today.
Penalty goal, field goal over 40. Chip and chase from Johnson. Reece Walsh, brilliance. Strap yourself in. We got 49 seconds, was.
That's what they've got. Is there a shift off the kickoff here, as the Rabbitohs did to the Roosters 10 years ago?
Dave Taylor at that point.
They'll kick that left-hand side of the field. Here it is, Lussick. He comes to Johnson. They've seen that play. It's Fanua Blake who takes it forward. Up against a 12-man Rabbitohs outfit, remembering with Cook in the sin bin. It's Katoa who'll play it. Inside 30 seconds remaining. Afoa, maybe the 2-point field goal from outside the 40 is their best chance. Lussick. It's Fanua Blake. Johnson, a shift. Walsh again. Back on the inside. Vailea steps away there from Nikorima. 4 plays gone. This will be the last right here. It's Johnson. A 53-metre field goal attempt. Knocked backwards. Play on. It's still there for the Warriors. The Rabbitohs clean it up, and that is game over. They have hung on. There are Rabbitohs spread all over the field.
Hang on.
In relief. We're not done with yet because the Warriors are challenging here.
Well, they're challenging an offside, accidental.
They're challenging everything.
It's the
might be an
first
accidental one, they might just check it.
first
Go back
challenge
to
of the game.
First contact on the kick, mate, please. We'll check all aspects of it, mate. Yeah, we will, Darwin. That's what we're checking, mate.
The ball is charged down by the Warriors. There is accidental offside. Playing on to this point.
Yeah, well, just let us finish the process, mate.
Nicarima knocks it on. Vlasic knocks it on. And that should be game over.
Accidental offside initially from the Rabbitohs, and then the ball is knocked on by Cody Nicarima, then knocked on by Freddie Vlasic. The challenge is unsuccessful.
And there we go. Challenge is unsuccessful.
And we have confirmation that the Rabbitohs now have put up their 5th win of the season. Not without a massive scare from the Warriors here in Game 1 on Super Saturday of Magic Round at Suncorp Stadium at full time. It's the Rabbitohs 32, the Warriors 30.